For centuries, the United States has stood as a symbol of strength and unity. But could that unity be at risk? While it might sound far-fetched, history has proven that even the most stable nations can experience fragmentation due to political, economic, and cultural divides. Some U.S. states already function like independent nations, with their own booming economies, distinct cultures, and even movements pushing for separation. Today on Globalized Intelligence Vault, we're counting down 10 states that could potentially break away from the U.S. in the future. Stick around to find out which state has already taken steps toward independence and why it might actually succeed. And before we dive in, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to stay updated on all our latest deep dives. Now let's get started. 10. California, the economic giant. California isn't just another state. It's an economic powerhouse. With a GDP surpassing $4 trillion in 2025, California's economy is larger than most countries. The idea of Texit has been debated for years, with supporters arguing that California's progressive policies on climate change, immigration, and social issues often clash with federal decisions. Some believe the state would be better off governing itself. But breaking away wouldn't be easy. California relies on federal water supplies, struggles with a housing crisis, and battles wildfires and climate disasters. While it remains part of the U.S. for now, the secession debate isn't going away anytime soon. 9. Texas, the Lone Star State's independent spirit. Texas has always prided itself on independence. It was its own republic from 1836 to 1845, before joining the U.S. Today, many Texans still believe the state could thrive on its own. The Texit movement has gained momentum, fueled by those who want more control over state resources, gun laws, and immigration policies. With a $2.5 trillion economy, a booming oil and natural gas industry, and strong exports, Texas has the financial strength to stand alone. But challenges remain. Texas receives billions in federal aid, and separating from the U.S. military infrastructure would be a massive undertaking. Still, the idea of Texit continues to fuel debates across the state. 8. Hawaii, the push for sovereignty. Hawaii's statehood remains a controversial topic. The U.S. annexed the islands in 1898, and since then, many Hawaiians have supported sovereignty movements seeking self-rule. Being over 2,000 miles from the mainland, Hawaii already operates somewhat independently. Its tourism-driven economy, unique cultural identity, and strategic location in the Pacific make it a strong candidate for independence. However, Hawaii imports most of its food, fuel, and supplies, making self-sufficiency difficult. And with the U.S. military deeply invested in the islands, breaking away wouldn't be simple. Still, the call for sovereignty continues to grow. 7. Alaska, the last frontier's secessionist mindset. Alaska stands apart, both geographically and culturally. It's vast, remote, and resource-rich, making some Alaskans believe it could function as its own independent nation. The Alaska Independence Party has long pushed for a secession referendum, arguing that Alaska's oil reserves, fisheries, and mineral wealth could sustain an independent economy. Plus, Anchorage is closer to Tokyo than Washington, D.C., reinforcing its sense of isolation. However, Alaska relies heavily on federal funding, and its harsh climate and small population make self-sufficiency a challenge. While secession remains unlikely, Alaska's independent spirit keeps the conversation alive. 6. Vermont, a small state with big independence dreams. Vermont may be small, but it has a history of going its own way. It actually operated as an independent republic from 1777 to 1791 before joining the Union. The Vermont Republic movement argues that the federal government has become too large and unresponsive. Vermont's economy, worth $37 billion, is built on agriculture, tourism, and small businesses, and its community-focused culture could support an independent nation. But federal funding plays a crucial role in Vermont's healthcare and infrastructure, making secession complicated. Though it's unlikely, Vermont's independent mindset ensures the debate stays alive. 5. Florida, economic strength but climate challenges. Florida is an economic powerhouse with a $1.6 trillion GDP and a booming tourism industry. Some argue that its strategic location, major ports, and trade connections could allow Florida to function independently. However, the population is divided. While some residents feel frustrated with federal policies on taxation and immigration, many newcomers from northern states strongly favor staying in the U.S. Florida also faces major risks. including hurricane damage and a reliance on federal disaster relief. While full independence is unlikely, political tensions within the state keep the conversation alive. Number 4. Oregon. A state divided. Oregon's independence debate is driven by a deep urban-rural divide. Cities like Portland lean progressive, while many rural counties in eastern Oregon feel disconnected from state and federal policies. The Greater Idaho movement, which aims to have parts of Oregon join Idaho, reflects growing dissatisfaction. Oregon's $261 billion economy is strong, but issues like high housing costs, income inequality, and crime rates complicate independence discussions. While full secession is unlikely, internal divisions within the state are growing stronger. Here 3. New Hampshire. Live free or die. Mentality. New Hampshire has long had a strong libertarian culture, and some residents believe the state should separate due to federal overreach. With a $96 billion economy and a low unemployment rate, New Hampshire could function independently in theory. A 2024 poll found that 29% of residents supported exploring secession. However, the state relies on federal funding for healthcare and education, making independence a difficult path. But New Hampshire's strong belief in personal freedom ensures this debate won't disappear. Number 2. Colorado. A rising secessionist movement. Colorado's economy is thriving, with a $460 billion GDP driven by tech, tourism, and renewable energy. However, rural areas feel overshadowed by Denver and Boulder, leading to movements like North Colorado, which seeks to form a separate state. While secession is unlikely, economic and political divides are growing within the state. The push for greater local control may continue shaping Colorado's future. 1. New York, a state at odds with itself. New York has a 2.1 trillion GDP, making it an economic giant. But tension between New York City and upstate regions is growing. A 2025 poll found that 30% of upstate residents supported splitting from NYC, believing that city policies don't reflect their interests. However, separating would create huge logistical, financial, and legal issues. While full independence is unlikely, the divide between New York City and the rest of the state continues to deepen. The U.S. has long prided itself on unity, but growing political and economic divides raise important questions. Could we one day see an American breakup? Let us know what you think in the comments. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more insightful content from Globalized Intelligence Vault.